The year 2024 is certainly already one for the history books, as what has already happened and what is yet to come is very concerning. And what if I told you that besides the Bible, there is a person who, before passing away, wrote down some of these prophecies, and some of them are yet to be fulfilled in 2024. Michael de Nostradamus, a French philosopher from the 16th century, notorious for his accurate predictions, allegedly anticipated the passing of Queen Elizabeth in 2022, and even the era of artificial intelligence, which dominates discussions today. This extraordinary seer stood out for predicting significant events, including the tragic deaths of the Kennedy brothers, the decline of Napoleon, the attacks on the Twin Towers, and the rise of an authoritarian regime in Germany in the early 16th century. In a modern time lacking prophets with the ability to foresee the future with such precision, Nostradamus' legacy remains shrouded in mystery, profoundly influencing collective perception. Immersing himself in the study of various esoteric currents and astrology, he used his vast knowledge to explore the mysteries of the future. Among his many predictions, some intriguing prophecies emerge for the year 2024, offering a glimpse of possible developments on the global stage. So, what did Nostradamus predict about war in 2024? Are we on the brink of witnessing another pandemic? What was his life like, and how did it end? Join us as we explore Nostradamus' prophecies and predictions for 2024 and how they affect the world. Nostradamus made the decision to focus all his attention on a significant endeavor that he initially called centuries. In the year 1554, this decision was made after his visions became an essential component of his work in almanacs. He intended to compose 10 books, each containing 100 predictions for the next 2,000 years. It is also often referred to as the PROPHECIES. His long-term predictions were compiled into a book called Les Prophéties, published in 1555. He used quatrains, which are rhymed verses consisting of 4 lines, as well as a combination of Latin, Greek, Italian, and Provençal, which is a dialect from southern France, to conceal the subject matter of the prophecies. His fear of being persecuted for his religious beliefs is possible, yet the fact that Nostradamus got along so well with the Vatican is intriguing. Many people believe that the Inquisition never prosecuted him for heresy because he did not use his works to perform magic. After information about him spread, he became one of the most well-known figures of the Renaissance period. Through his prophecies, Nostradamus was responsible for a great deal of controversy. There were others who believed he was working for the devil, while some believed he was a fraud or insane. On the other hand, a significant number of people believed that the predictions were the result of divine forces. Now, let's look at the 12 predictions made by Nostradamus for 2024. Stay tuned until the end, because the last one is the most frightening of all. But before we continue for you to understand in a faster and easier way, all these signs, we are facing difficult times in which prophecies are coming true, but many do not realize what is happening around the world. For this reason, I decided to provide a gift to all subscribers of the channel, a digital ebook, The Secret Behind the Holy Bible, so that you can download it immediately. It is in the first fixed comment. In this book, I reveal all the secrets of biblical prophecies that will shock you. Don't waste time. Click on the first fixed comment, as we have only a few units available, and it will soon be taken off the air. Access it now and get your digital book. Nostradamus' book, Les Prophéties, was published in 1555. In this book, he mentions that a major earthquake will occur on the coast of Japan this year, generating a destructive tsunami that will devastate homes and claim many lives. Nostradamus also warned of a great famine resulting from a pestilential wave that may refer to the impact of tsunamis on agricultural lands. The accuracy of his predictions is remarkable and leaves many of us incredulous. His prophecies have been interpreted and reinterpreted by countless individuals. scholars, and enthusiasts attempting to unravel the secrets contained in his verses and connect them to contemporary events. One such prophecy is believed by some to be about the Great Fire of London in 1666. Nostradamus wrote, "The blood of the just will be demanded of London, burnt by fire in the year 66. Interpreters suggest that this prophecy refers to the many deaths caused by the fire during the Great Fire of London. Another intriguing prophecy is the reference to plagues never before seen, which some believe to be related to the nuclear attacks on Hiroshima and Nagasaki at the end of World War II. Nostradamus' predictions for the future include events such as climate change, economic instability, health problems for world leaders, changes in religious leadership, and even possible encounters with extraterrestrial civilizations. His prophecies arouse curiosity and speculation, leading people to reflect on the fate of humanity and the events that may shape our future. Although some of his prophecies have proven accurate over time, others remain subject to interpretation and debate. However, Nostradamus' legacy as a visionary persists, challenging curious minds to explore the unknown and consider the possibilities of what is to come. On August 24, 1572, an event known as the Massacre of St. Bartholomew's Day occurred. The persecution of the Church against astronomers at the end of the 5th century, which culminated in the burning at the stake of several scientists, including Giordano Bruno, who met a tragic end when accused of pantheism, that God and the universe are the same thing, being burned alive on February 17, 1600. The Great Fire of London, the French Revolution, the saga and fall of Napoleon Bonaparte, Hitler and Nazism, World War II, the end of Mussolini and also Saddam Hussein were events that had quatrains associated with them. And not only that, France claims to have serious problems with Islamism, so much so that it prohibited the use of the Islamic veil by women. This fact was related to the 18th quatrain of the 1st century, which says the following: "Because of French discord and negligence, an opening will arise for the Moors. The land and sea of Siena will be full of blood, and the port of Marseille covered with ships and boats." Some believe that the conflicts that exist and that can become even worse have historical ties between France and the Islamic world and can also be easily associated with this quatrain of Nostradamus, saying that he was right. Nostradamus also predicted that the Catholic Church would decline, citing the date of December 13, which coincides with the day, not month, when Pope John Paul I suffered an attack in the Vatican. Two of the quatrains that would have predicted the event say, "O vast Rome, your ruin approaches, not that of your walls, but of your blood and your substance. Wickedness will commit such an act. Horror through literature that all will be persecuted. After Montel, the Pope will lose his shine. His misfortune will come from the confluence of the Saona and the Rhone. Because of the soldiers hidden in the woods on December 13, nothing more terrible ever happened to the throne." Muammar al-Gaddafi, former leader and dictator of Libya, was also among Nostradamus's quatrains. The prophet considered the dictator the fifth Antichrist. His name, Gaddafi, died in 2011 after being captured and killed by soldiers of the forces of the National Transitional Council in the Battle of Sirte. The quatrain says, "The chief of the powerful Libyan state in the west will come to inflame the Arabs against the French. Then will come a learned man who will have the Arabic language translated into French." Some possible elements that relate this quatrain to the former dictator are: Gaddafi was a chief of state of Libya who had influence in the West, especially in Europe and Africa. He supported various revolutionary and nationalist Arab movements that opposed French and Western presence in the region. He was succeeded by a transitional government that received help from countries like France to establish democracy and national reconciliation. Finally, Gaddafi was known to have an interest in French culture and language, having even written a book in French called the Green Book. Some scholars argue that he intended to translate the Arabic language into French, as a way to bring the peoples closer together. As for what Nostradamus would have predicted according to one of his predictions, there may be smoke in the chimney of the Vatican in 2024. According to the prophet scholars, the quatrain that addresses this issue says the following: "The very old pontiff will no longer be elected. A Roman of good age will succeed him. It will be said that the Holy Seat is bleeding. For a long time and vigorously will he reign." The fact is that the current Pope Francis is very ill. According to Khan in 2020, 1. The pontiff underwent colon surgery and, when younger, had to have part of his lung moved due to an outbreak of pneumonia in 2019. He underwent procedures to treat a cataract and, for many years of his life, has been struggling with chronic sciatic pain. In 2022, the Pope had serious problems with his knees, which made him use a cane and wheelchair. For the Vatican, there is no way to appoint someone to replace Francis temporarily, as there is no vice pope for that. If he needs to stay still for a long time, unfortunately, they will have to replace him. The Pope himself has publicly admitted to having signed his resignation in case he cannot continue in office, but Nostradamus did not mention illness but death. Will we lose the beloved cardinal this year of 2024? I sincerely hope not. There are two quite frightening quatrains that have been recently recalled given the latest news from Eastern Europe regarding the war between Russia and Ukraine. Nostradamus' scholars say that these quatrains can become a reality at any moment, like the 81st quatrain of the 6th century, which is related to some attack that may occur in Genoa, Italy, where one of the UN headquarters is located. The quatrain says, "Weeping, cries and lamentations, howls, terror, inhuman, cruel, black and disturbed heart motto. The islands of Genoa, the largest, shed blood, cold, hunger without mercy." This quatrain is one of Nostradamus' most obscure and enigmatic, with no consensus on its meaning. Some interpreters suggest that it refers to a war or natural disaster that would affect the region of Lake Geneva in Switzerland and the city of Genoa in Italy. Others believe it is related to the French Revolution, which occurred over 200 years after Nostradamus' death and which caused much suffering and violence in Europe. Some even see in this quatrain a prophecy about the future that could involve an alien invasion, a nuclear attack, or a global pandemic. There are many sources claiming that we are getting closer to an alien contact. If there are people who see in this quatrain only Lake Geneva as a premise for the beginning of visits from extraterrestrials, then it may be that ufology enthusiasts are correct, and still, this year of 2024, we will make contact. If we relate the quatrain to a nuclear attack, it makes more sense, since Russia and its partner North Korea have not talked about anything else except for the possibility of using some of their nuclear arsenal, and it doesn't take much to know that these statements are not healthy for peace, on Earth. The same applies to a new pandemic, or even the recent pandemic. The 44th quatrain of the 9th century, which is also eerie and one of Nostradamus' latest before his death, says the following: "Everyone leave the city, inhabitants of Geneva. Your golden age will turn into an age of war. He who turns against the Iranian leader will exterminate them all. Before this happens, there will be signs from the sky." Some interpreters suggest that it refers to a possible armed conflict between Iran and Switzerland, targeting the city of Geneva, home to various international organizations, especially the UN. They believe the Iranian leader would be former President Hassan Rouhani, who allegedly threatened to attack Switzerland due to economic sanctions imposed by the European country. They also associate the signs from the sky with astronomical or meteorological phenomena preceding the attack. However, it must be said that yes, Switzerland is somewhat a representative of the United States regarding nuclear armaments in Iran, since, by personal request of former President Rouhani during his visit to the European country in 2018, Americans were excluded from the treaty, allowing the agreement between Iran and Switzerland to continue. Former U.S. President Donald Trump had already announced Washington's withdrawal 2 months before Rouhani's visit to Switzerland. Nothing more serious or threatening occurred, however, partly due to Israel's intervention, Iran's main enemy. During the World Forum in Davos, the third quatrain from the Curia brings a prediction that has left many believers in Nostradamus on edge. It says the following: Mars and Mercury and silver will be together at noon. Great drought. An earthquake will come from Asia. Corinth, Ephesus are in perplexity. As the quatrain itself states, it predicts a major earthquake and also a huge drought when the planets Mars, Mercury, and the Moon are together, visually close in the sky. Since around mid-2022, these two planets and four others, Venus, Uranus, Neptune, Jupiter, and Saturn, along with the Moon, have been part of the same quadrant, so to speak, in the celestial map. According to astronomers, this is a rare type of alignment among these planets and the Moon, with a new occurrence only expected in the year 2040. That said, on the first day of 2024, Japan was once again hit by an earthquake and a new tsunami, which, although not as severe as the one in 2011, claimed hundreds of victims. Japan, it is worth noting, is part of the Asian continent. Regarding the great drought mentioned in the quatrain, we can cite, for example, the drought that the Amazon suffered at the end of 2023 and the beginning of this year. The state where the world's largest tropical forest is located went without rain for months, resulting in a historic drop in the water levels of the main rivers and their tributaries. In early 2023, Italy also suffered from water scarcity. Even the canals of Venice were affected, making any type of navigation impossible, even their famous gondolas. The problem detected in Venice was a combination of lack of rain, a system of high atmospheric pressure, a full moon, and ocean currents. Meanwhile, on the continent, some Italian cities also suffered from the drought since. Already at the end of 2022, the Alps did not receive the normal snowfall, which is one of the main sources of freshwater in much of Europe. Similarly, both in Brazil and Italy and in other parts of the world, droughts occurred during the period when Nostradamus would have referred to the alignment of the planets Mercury and Mars with the Moon in the same quadrant. Whether it's just a coincidence or not, I'll leave it up to you. The arrival of humans on Mars was also one of the predictions Nostradamus made, which, in a way, has already come true, albeit indirectly. Humanity has been present on the Red Planet since 1997, when NASA managed to land its first rover and have direct and clear images of the Martian surface. However, it's not only with robots that the ambitious and curious human being will be satisfied to know Mars. Elon Musk, CEO of SpaceX, as well as Tesla and other companies, is one of the biggest proponents not only of human presence on Mars, but also of the colonization of the neighboring planet. For years, SpaceX has been testing engines and rockets capable of landing and taking off in order to take astronauts and cargo to Mars until it is possible to have a structure that accommodates the future inhabitants and colonizers there, an ambition that many consider impossible, but which has been gaining strength with each new achievement in this sector. Every year, a new bet emerges, mainly from SpaceX, regarding the sending of the first astronauts to Mars. It may be that 2024 is that year. If Nostradamus is correct, a succession in the British realm could occur in 2024. According to the prophet, the throne of the United Kingdom would be occupied by a man who does not have the seal of a king. This description fits Harry, the youngest of King Charles. Harry released, in 2023, an autobiography entitled Spare, the word referring to the spare son to the throne, as mentioned by Nostradamus, who would only assume if something happened to the firstborn. Unlike William, he does not have the seal of a king, as written in the quatrain. Charles, I would resign due to constant attacks against him and his second wife, as also written. The lucky queen, Camilla Parker Bowles, however, this succession would only occur if something happened to the first on the list, which is Prince William. Nothing is said, however, about the heir prince, but by using the expression spare son to the throne, Nostradamus would be referring to the second. and not the first son, and the Third World War. The most feared event of global scale would be included in one of Nostradamus's quatrains. There is more than one quatrain that refers to a cataclysm caused by man, and one of them is number 83 of the 9th century, which says, "When the sun at 20 deg in Taurus, the earth will violently shake. The great theater, full, will be destroyed. Darkness and disturbance in the air, sky, and earth. When the infidel calls to God and to the saints." While some say this quatrain refers to a major earthquake, others say it has some relation to the nuclear tests North Korea has been conducting, while also threatening the United States. Another highly feared quatrain, according to interpretations made about it, is number 77 of the 8th century. It says, "The Antichrist, very early annihilated, 27 years of blood will last his war. The heretics dead, captives exiled, his human body red water will ravage the earth." This quatrain, besides containing a subliminal message about a terrible war, also brings the figure of the Antichrist, who, according to the Bible, is the forerunner of the end times. I know I'm strange, but humanity has always lived on the edge of something catastrophic and threatening. Life on Earth. Pandemics and waves like the Black Death, smallpox, cholera, and more recently, COVID-19 have claimed thousands of lives, and yes, represented the end of the world for those thousands of people, leaving mourning everywhere on the planet. We've had 2 world wars, which besides the thousands of deaths on the battlefield, also decimated thousands of Jews. We've had significant geological accidents that left some mark and also deaths when they occurred, such as the eruption of Krakatoa in 1883 to the devastating tsunami in Indonesia in 2004. Now, in the 21st century, the same factors as before seem to be the same threats today. Some important volcanoes could indeed erupt at any moment. New earthquakes can also occur in various parts of the world. Tsunamis can sweep the same coasts, or even worse, invade cities that have not yet experienced a tidal wave. 2 significant wars began 2024, giving little hope for the much-desired peace. And what is most frightening is that both one and the other war can gain more ground and spill over into the rest of the world. And it is when humanity may face its greatest fear, the Third World War. Regarding Nostradamus' predictions, it's not them that we should be scared of. It's ourselves, humanity. Comment below what you think about Nostradamus' predictions. Do you believe in them? Or are they just enigmatic verses that only vaguely resemble our reality? It depends only on us, right? So that you can understand more quickly and easily all these signs, we are facing difficult times when prophecies are coming true, but many do not perceive what is happening around the world. For this reason, I decided to offer a gift to all subscribers of the channel, a digital ebook, The Secret Behind the Holy Bible, so that you can download it immediately. It is in the first pinned comment. In this book, I reveal all the secrets of biblical prophecies that will shock you. Don't waste time. Click on the first pinned comment because we have only a few units available, and it will soon be taken off the air. Access it now and secure your digital book. And I want to end this video with a message that Jesus left for all his disciples. He said like this, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives you. I do not let your hearts be troubled and do not be afraid."